Monster truck racing is a dirty job, but picture-perfect indoor conditions can bring out the best of this gritty calling. Bone-jarring machines, cat quick, with plenty of American muscles, are in the house, dressed in their Sunday best. An outpouring of pent-up blue-collar emotion, both on the field and in the stands, will greet our heroes of heavy equipment. This high-performance powder keg is set to blow any second inside the RCA Dome. Today on Trucks and Tractor Power, we feature the best in MTRA monster truck racing. Welcome to the Dodge Monster Drags. I'm Army Armstrong, and this weekend we're at the RCA Dome in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana for an invitational. PENDA has pulled in some of the top monster trucks in the country. It's a non-points race, so bragging rights are important, and everybody can make a name for themselves. But some of the drivers that have made names are not here. Some of the new kids are. Dan Runte, your defending PENDA points champion, didn't make the show. He's not here. Gary Porter, blew an engine, the big hope for the Chevrolet, down the tubes. Pam Vodders, last time we saw her, we thought, man, this girl has turned the corner, but Lady Luck jumps up, smacks her. She's not going to be in competition this evening. However, we do have some new blood on the tour, and with more on that, here's Gary Lee.
Thanks, Army. Hi, everybody. Hey, we're all ready for round two. In fact, you really need a program to know the players. Two new trucks. One is the Dungeon of Doom, Eric Tack, in this Ford-powered with the GTS fiberglass body. And also new, we have the War Wagon, 1955 Chevy Nomad. Jeff Cook comes out of northern Indiana. Unfortunately, both trucks were defeated in round one. However, this one comes back as a fast loser for round two competition. And here is Jeff Cook losing in round one to Brian Welsh. That War Wagon is a 55 Chevy Nomad, a good-looking vehicle, but he was on the trailer early this evening. Track is only 150 feet in length, a short shutdown area, and there was the time for Brian Welsh. The Dungeon of Doom, Eric Tack against Fred Schaefer in barefoot. Of course, Fred did not fare so well in the Dodge Monster Drags last season. Would like to redeem himself here in the Dome. And the round one win went to Fred Schaefer, but Eric Tack, as we told you earlier, will come back as a fast loser. The 380 for Eric, and Fred Schaefer's clocking was a 353. Well, the biggest upset of round one, Dan Patrick going against Alan Pizzo. Patrick in Sampson in the near lane against the Predator in the far lane. And that had to be a surprise.
Alan, you've been telling these guys that you can run with them, and I think you're proving it tonight. The truck looked real good.
Well, definitely. You know, I think, you know, we got more left in it, and the track is really good out here. It's got a real good lot of bite out there on the starting line. And this race is going to be won or lost off the starting line. And I think I cut a real good light that time, and, you know, we're going to be back and better than ever.
Well, Paul Schaefer had some problems in qualifying. He is in the far lane in the Monster Patrol, and Kirk Dabney had no problem knocking out Schaefer. There's Dabney's time of 3:67. Well, the best race of round one, Ken Deppy takes out Mark Hall in the Executioner. Now, you'll see the margin of victory. Mark Hall will come back as the second fast loser. There's the margin of victory. Ken Deppy at 3:73. Great crowd on hand here in the Dome. We're coming back for more of the hot action. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the RCA Dome and the Dodge Monster Drags. Well, Gary, what we're looking at right now is the brand new F-150 Ford body style, just being released for the public to see the first time.
Of course, Eric Meagher on board the new Bigfoot truck as we take a look at the pairings now for round two. The two fast losers coming back, the Executioner and Dungeon of Doom. So there is Eric Tack in the brand new Dungeon of Doom truck. I like that fiberglass body.
You know, the fiberglass body here, there's a story. A fellow named George Link owns a company called GTS Fiberglass out of Winsville, Missouri, and he uses these trucks as creative pieces for him. He's built this truck, he's built Snakebite, he's built Samson, he works with the Bigfoot team, he's built the Dodge truck, so he is the creator in fiberglass.
And some trouble in the shutdown area for Eric Meagher. He's on the brakes, and talk about some fiberglass damage. Man, he clouded that outside wall. I think that's a metal doghouse on that truck, isn't it?
He was road testing that new Ford front end, wasn't he, Gary?
Is that fiberglass or metal?
It's fiberglass.
Oh, man, he just simply, we talked about the short shutdown area. He simply could not get stopped. Had the big win, and the safety crew indicating that he apparently is okay. Now, let's watch again, Army. Right there, he has the big wheel stand over. That's what launched him. The second set of cars, he was wheel standing over that, had trouble, high-sided the truck, and then simply could not get all four down on the ground. He slams on the brakes, then slams the outside retaining wall.
That's why you got to hit the brakes only when you got four wheels on the ground. He was dotting the I in Indianapolis.
Well, there's a look at the damage to the front of that Ford Bigfoot, but right now, more importantly, the driver's okay. He's with Army.
Eric, you have any idea? You did what you had to do. I mean, you had to get it back down before you hit the brakes.
That's right. It came up over top of me. I know I was running low on space here. As you can see, we're indoors. We're still racing hard. Very competitive. Ford's not backing down. We're going to assess the damage. I don't see any real reason why we can't come back, but I really haven't looked at it yet. But we're coming back. Hopefully, we're coming back real strong.
Thanks for coming over. Get back to work.
Thank you.
Well, Eric took the football out of the end zone. The only problem is this is monster truck racing and not football.
You know, the concrete gets real slick when it gets dusty, and that's exactly what happened. Had there been dirt all the way to that wall, he may have gotten that vehicle shut down. Of course, if a frog had wings, he wouldn't, you know the story.
Fly. Well, he's trying to assess the damage right now to see if they can get that truck back in action. Now, take a look from the end zone camera. Right here in no man's land, Army pulls the big wheel stand, and that tips the front end over. And once he gets up on two wheels, he cannot apply the brakes to get her slowed down. Now he's standing hard on the brakes. He simply runs out of space and makes some pretty good contact with that outside wall. And, of course, they'll have to use some plywood to cover up the hole before we can continue here in the RCA Dome in downtown Indianapolis. So a little lull in the action as the maintenance crew goes to work and repairs the outside wall. And we can tell you the Dodge Monster Drags are part of the Special Events Performance Series, which offer a weekend of four-wheel fun. Visit the manufacturer's Midway or check out the Show and Shine competition. To find out more, contact the Special Events Promotion Company and come and see a Jamboree and Performance Series event in your area.
Well, the tough trucks were competing in the RCA Dome. They were invited also, the best trucks around the country. They were judged by who could put on the best show, and Rory Fisher didn't let anybody down with this Toyota. Also out of the tough truck field, representing the Chevrolet camp, Flying Dave and the Flamin' Blazer hits the finish line tire, and in doing so, completely wipes out the left rear wheel on this vehicle. Well, our friends at Special Event didn't forget you motorcycle fans either, because they had a jump off, and a young man named Jeff Baker scored real high on style, but real low on landing points.
Well, we're going to watch that again, Army. He was flying. He was also falling. Oh, that's a young man's sport for that reason right there. He was all right, though, and quickly jumped up to take a bow to an appreciative audience. Well, Bigfoot backing into the pit stall there. You can see the doghouse is missing, but the truck is running. So we'll see if they can get that repair done. It's time to get him back in action. Meanwhile, Kirk Dabney is getting ready to take on Alan Pizzo. Pizzo, the far lane, and the Predator. Kirk Dabney will be in the near lane.
Both of these guys, independent, run out of their own pocketbook. Great people, hard racers. You just like to see either one of them get a break for a corporate sponsor.
Well, of course, this will be the beginning of round 2 competition. There's a good look at Kirk Dabney out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne about 2.5 hours northeast of Indianapolis. And they are staging here in the Dome, the home of the Indianapolis Colts. Of course, the AstroTurf has been put away. The dirt laid down, and Kirk Dabney takes it out the end at a 382. Pizzo used all the shutdown space he had available, and he almost got the outside wall.
You're going to say Pizzo was put away, too, but in a different fashion. Dabney's running good, always has run good. Gary, what can you say? He can always be a player.
A look once again, Kirk Dabney, the overkill truck in the near lane. He put it on overkill, and he took this victory to go on to the semis. But right now, let's go down trackside and visit with Kirk Dabney. Here's Army.
You're looking like the Kurt of old. The truck really looks like it's working for you.
Well, Army, we're really happy to be here. As you know, the Hoosier Dome's a tough place for us, or the RCA Dome as it's called now. We've had a lot of bad luck here. Hey, this place owes us a good night.
Well, let's see if, in fact, he has a good night. We'll come back with more competition, including Fred Schaefer coming up next. Stay with us. Welcome back to the CarQuest Dodge Monster Drags at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Round 2 action continues. Fred Schaefer and Barefoot staging. Now, prior to the beginning of tonight's competition, Fred was honored for his work with the National Child Safety Council's program Race Against Drugs. Representatives from the FBI and DEA, along with Fred, spoke to Indy area schools, and Fred was presented an FBI and DEA hat. Both made him honorary agents. Quite a resume for one Fred Schaefer, monster truck racer, bear trainer, honorary DEA and FBI agent.
And for an hour, we couldn't find Gary Lee when those FBI agents were on the floor. We finally found him hiding in a closet. I don't understand that.
I don't think so. Fred Schaefer inside the cockpit with Fred and the Barefoot Dodge as he finally stages against Mark Hall. And a problem for Schaefer. Mark Hall takes the victory. Fred Schaefer has always had trouble at these events sponsored by Dodge.
Boy, it just seems like there's a black cloud hanging over his head. He moved at the same time Hall did. Something let go on the drivetrain.
Well, there's a look again over the first set of cars, and he parks it right there in no man's land. Mark wins it. Right, Hall is with Army.
The Executioner, Mark Hall, have been a tough opponent for quite a few years, but it seems like you and your brother, Tim, have started to really pull this thing together. You've always had the driving talent, you've always had the equipment, but it seems like now it's starting to come together for you, Mark.
Well, I hope so. You know, we've been fighting this. We built a new truck, and we come out, and we spent a year kind of working with it and working out the bugs, and it's really starting to come around. We're just having some little bitty problems. It's kind of little bugs catching up and biting us here, but I think we'll get it worked out, and I think it's going to come around.
One thing about the competition tonight, a lot of the big boys are sitting on a trailer, and you're still in this thing. Good luck to you.
Thanks a lot, Army.
One last chance for Dodge. That's Ken Deppy. That is the Dodge teammate of Fred Schaefer. But right now, let's go trackside and visit with Fred. He's with Army Armstrong.
Fred, it looked like that something, it wasn't in four-wheel drive.
Army was on her first pass there. I felt it grit a couple of times. I wasn't sure if it was broke or not, but the ring of pinion broke on the other pass there.
So basically, it was not four-wheel drive. You just had two wheels, so...
Yeah, you're right. It only had two-wheel drive. The ring of pinion and the rear end is broke.
Well, there is the moving violation truck with that brand-new spiffy paint job. That's Brian Welsh. He is staging. He's out of Chicago. That's about a 3.5-hour drive northwest of Indianapolis. And there is Ken Deppy in the Dodge Rampage. Oh, no, right at the finish line, Ken Deppy lost the event. He had it won over Brian Welsh. It ain't over till it's over, Army.
No, and I tell you what, when Deppy, I hope we get a replay coming up here, because I saw sparks coming out behind the driver's compartment going down to the bottom. There they are.
Yeah, right there they are. Something broke. Deppy comes rolling very slowly across the finish line, and Brian wins it. So let's go trackside, Army.
Well, Brian Welch and his crew immediately try to get back to the pit area. You guys are tearing so much equipment up out here, but this could be the night the dream come true for you. The night of the privateer could be at hand, because you're still in this thing in a big way.
Yeah, you know, we changed a few things after last summer. We changed a few, you know, changed our motor builder and everything. All we got here is a belt problem. We're going to tighten up the steering belt. We're going to go another round here, hopefully. But everything's going to work out for us real good in 96. We got some new people with us on board, so we're going to be the ones to be reckoned with, hopefully, in 96.
Well, there is a look at Bigfoot minus the doghouse, but the big blue Ford will be ready for competition as we come back to the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Welcome back to the RCA Dome in downtown Indianapolis, the CarQuest Dodge Monster Drags, and we can tell you while we were away, Mark Hall determined he actually broke something in that win over Fred Schaefer. He will not be able to continue, so Eric Tack in the Dungeon of Doom, the quickest loser from round 2, will now race against Kurt Dabney in the Final Four. A bit of luck for this new truck.
Well, a lot of luck, really, because he keeps coming back to the loser bracket, but when you go to the pay window,
That doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there, but he's been knocked out now as Kirk Dabney, the overkill truck, takes the victory at 364.
Half the field beat him tonight.
Attack has lost everybody, but keeps coming back for some reason, either as a loser or somebody else breaks. Let's go down and visit with Kirk Dabney.
Well, there's an old song about them bones, them bones. Well, Kirk Dabney, you don't worry about them bones tonight, but that boy could be a player before the year's over.
Yeah, we knew that truck was going to be a fast truck. We've been here a few years before. We've tried to learn what the track will do for us and what the truck likes here, and I think we found it.
Well, a different look for Eric Meagher's Bigfoot truck following his brush with the RCA dome wall. Now, earlier, Army took a look at the fuel situation.
Gary, we got a kind of unique view of the Bigfoot truck with the nose off here, and I want to point something out to you in the safety field. Look at the impact point. This is exactly where the truck made impact with the wall, and they'll only have to replace this part of the front of the truck, push back about 2 or 3 inches. But the interesting thing is the fuel cell sitting right here. This Jazz fuel cell did exactly what it was supposed to do. It took the impact. You can actually see where the frame pushed back into the fuel cell, but there was not 1 ounce of leakage that came out of this truck. That fuel cell did exactly what it was designed to do, contain the fuel in case of an impact.
That, of course, is due to the bladder inside the fuel cell that all motorsport vehicles now, for the most part, are required to have. Well, it looks like that did not slow down the Bigfoot truck. Eric Meagher takes the victory over Brian Welsh. So Eric Meagher in the damaged Bigfoot will go to the final round. Let's take a look again, coming right at you.
Well, Brian ran him tough, but the Cinderella story stopped right about here. On the second jump, Bigfoot was straight and really aired it out.
Well, once again, Eric Meagher, as we've seen so often, will be in the championship go. But right now, let's send it down trackside and visit with Eric.
Well, it's not coming easy, but it is coming.
You're right, they're coming awful hard, but we're coming hard. What you just saw there was a credit not just to the team of crew members we have here tonight. It's a credit all the way back to Bob Chandler and his computer when he sat down to put this truck together. You can tell this truck was built with safety in mind. I came out of it, I feel great after that win. Hopefully we'll have another win behind that, but definitely a credit to the team here and back in St. Louis.
Well, Army, before we get to the finals, let's show you some more tough truck highlights. Now, these guys really attacked the whoop-de-doos on the RCA Dome track. Dave DeMage, we saw him earlier losing a wheel. He gets the Hard Charger Award, coming back to show us the undercarriage of his Burning Sensation truck. Mike Blackford, this guy won the tough truck competition at the Indy Fall Nationals, and he hears it from the huge crowd here at the RCA Dome. He lost his left front shock, but hey, that didn't stop him from finishing real strong and real hard.
It's almost like these tough truck guys want to go out of here in a blaze of glory, Gary.
But the darling on this night was Barb Alden, the team pig out. This is the Jeep. Now, this is their semi-run. She actually won the semi-run. But watch what happened when she went over the final jump and hit that tire. She high-sides the Jeep, and the thing rolls on over. She was uninjured, in fact, stayed in the Jeep. The thunderous applause. She came back and won the short wheelbase, and here was Barb.
How did the flip feel? You had everybody kind of pumped up out there.
You know, it was so smooth when it went over, I didn't even realize it at first. I was a little shaky afterwards, but wasn't too bad.
Tell you what, you had everybody in here cheering for you. Congratulations. You beat all the guys tonight. You, for a whole year, you're the #1 tough truck driver person in America. Congratulations.
Great. Thank you, Army.
And our congratulations to Barb Alt. Got her upside down, came back to win it all. We are set now for the finals. Kirk Dabney and Eric Meagher.
Two good friends until right now they're the worst enemies. They put their war paint on. Dabney needs to win. He wants it. It'll help him get a sponsor. The Bigfoot team on the other side, everybody knows the story about them. Who's it going to be, Gary?
The pair of Fords, it looks like Eric Meagher by, I was going to say by the doghouse, but he has no doghouse. It's a 362. Eric Meagher wins this invitational in the RCA Dome by just mere inches over the overkill Ford. A pair of Ford trucks in the championship. And it was right here where Eric moved out just by the length of a wheel, and here is your champion.
Well, Eric, you started tonight by thumping a wall, but you ended it by beating beating them all. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Army. It wasn't easy. It's getting tougher and tougher out here, pushing it to the limit. I can't thank everybody enough. The guys that are with me here, like I said, everybody has put their efforts into this vehicle to get it to where it is today. The great backing we have from our sponsors. I did notice I hit that wall pretty hard, but that deflector shield, bug shield, doesn't have a scratch on it.
Well, congratulations to Eric Meagher. A tough outing here last year, a tough outing early tonight, but he wins it. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week. Now, here's news and exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.
For those of you who like to take home a little grit in your teeth and mud in your hair after a day of motorsports, we have the tape for you. Look out, cover the furniture before popping this baby in the VCR. It's Shake, Battle, and Roll 4. The latest installment of this popular series from Diamond P Sports delivers all the hard knocks from the world of monster trucks and mud racing. And also features the heavy right-footed action of the tough truck competition where bravado wins out over common sense virtually every time. To get your copy of Shake, Battle, and Roll 4, call 1-800-952-7878 or send $19.95 plus shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen. Visa, Master, or Discover cards are accepted. That's 1-800-952-7878 for Shake, Battle, and Roll 4.